And this morning on Today's Money, home sweet home. When you call the IRS with a question about filing your tax return, you may be surprised who's answering your call and from where. Today's financial editor, Jean Chatzky, has a look at interesting career opportunities that have some people saying there's no place like home.
The order should arrive within 10 business days from today, ma'am. Thank you for calling the IRS.
Peter Catanese handles hundreds of calls each week for the Internal Revenue Service, and he does it all from here, his home in southern New Jersey.
Grab a cup of coffee and go to work, just like anybody else does.
National Telecommuting Institute, a nonprofit organization that places disabled workers with at-home employment, uses internet technology to enable call center work to be done at home.
The federal government has outsourced call center work overseas. And so what we're saying to the federal buyer is if you're willing to do that, we have a workforce here that suffers a 75% unemployment rate that is ready to go to work.
For Peter, who was hit by a car nearly 30 years ago, traditional employment is not an option.
I have an awful lot of pain from my knees and from other parts of my body, other joints. I can't work 8 hours a day. Okay, I can work 2, 3, maybe 4 hours.
But those few hours mean more than just a paycheck.
When you are disabled, you don't have a work identity. It's given me back my identity as someone that can walk around and be proud of himself.
Colorado-based ALPINE Access has been placing employees with home-based employment for years. Big-name businesses like 1-800-Flowers and Office Depot turn to their 4,000 employees to take calls.
It's very hard to find work that you can do part-time, that's good work, that has good pay, that you can do from your home, and it results in happier employees.
Can you help, Mommy?
Laura Voigt Jimenez knows all too well.
My little boy, when he was 8 weeks old, we discovered that he had a brain tumor. And so with all of his medical issues, it just became impossible for me to work outside of the home.
Now this stay-at-home mom finds time to be a stay-at-home employee for a credit finance company.
Do you remember what the original one was? I give them a schedule of my availability that I can work, and then they just schedule my hours in those time frames.
Another benefit? Not having to deal with this. Martha Libby's commute looks like this.
No, I'm not going to use it.
Her love of gardening made her the perfect match for 1-800-Flowers.
I still like associating outside of the home and talking to people and doing customer service.
Though she's not ready to stop working, her husband is retired, and the flexible hours mean more time together.
Hello, this is Peter Catanese, vendor number 8.
Back in New Jersey, Peter Catanese has discovered an unexpected benefit.
It's also a pleasure to pay my own taxes for a change.
Jean Chatzky, good morning.
Good morning.
So if this is such a good idea, and in particular that piece concentrated on disabled Americans, any idea how many people are out there in the workforce being employed at home?
More and more companies are offering you the option to work from home every single day. It's not just the work from home things we see as plastered on telephone poles. It's that actual corporations, 20 or 30% of them are now offering this option to their workforce.
And what's the benefit to the corporation or even the small business?
Well, to the corporation, the benefits are twofold. Loyalty, you give somebody the opportunity to work from home, you retain them longer. And cost, when you don't have to provide them with office space, it reduces your cost. And that's been very attractive the last couple of years.
Now let's look at some possible drawbacks from the employee's point of view. And one of them that I read about is that these people may not find themselves in line for promotions in the same way that people who are actually at the office find themselves.
That's right. Out of sight, out of mind. And that is a particular worry for people who feel like they could be on the fast track or who want to be mentored. If you're not actually in the office, you don't have that contact with your superiors, that can be a drawback. But for disabled people like we saw in the piece, it's the only way that they're able to work.
Right, but for people who could actually go to the office, if they're told to work at home, they might actually feel shunned in some ways.
Exactly. And you have to ask yourself, as an employer if this is the right option for each particular person. It needs to be a decision that's made on an individual basis.
If someone's receiving disability benefits, how does this impact their financial situation?
They have to tread very carefully. If you're a disabled person and you start making more than $830 a month working full-time or $590 a month working part-time, you could lose your benefits, so you have to be careful.
All right, make sure you do the homework before you get into this.
Absolutely.
Jean Chatzky, thanks very much. And if it sounds like a good idea, you can check out Jean's column at today.msnbc.com.